Hey everybody. So I'm going to introduce a little concept I call procedural stylization. So the idea is we'll take a simple concept like a radial. So that means you draw a doodle that simply radiates away from a point. Right? You got to have that doodle power, meaning the doodle power is just being able to doodle things out by hand. This is the stuff that I keep going on and on about. So you can take that radial doodle and then you apply a perspective modifier. This is where we get into the procedural stuff. Procedural modifiers, you simply take them and you stack them together. So you take your radial doodle and you apply perspective to it. Or you can take that radial and you apply a gravity modifier to it. So gravity makes those arms of the radial sink, or you stack on perspective as well. So the idea is that you conceive of modifiers like gravity and perspective, or we can put in alternation. So if I do radial and alternation, if I could do alternating lengths, right? Or I could do maybe right, a sweeping trend, right? That sweeping trend is a modifier that you stack on top of the radial. You know, I could take the alternating length, the patterned alternating lengths, and apply the right. You apply that trend, you apply that length trend to that alternating. So that's again, it's the combination of two modifiers, and then right. This is how my system of stylization works. Is I take all these different modifiers. I take the radial, I take alternation, I'll take a sweeping trend, I'll take perspective, I'll take gravity, and doodle it while conceiving all of them at the same time. And you got to practice this stuff until it just becomes comfortable. All right. When people talk about mastery, what it means to be, people talk about learning a thing. They're like, oh, okay, here's the exercise. I do it once, and then they never do it again. Right? They're like, they do it until they understand it, but they don't do it until they're able to do it without like thinking about it. They're not able to do it until it becomes like truly second nature. And something being second nature to you means you don't have to think about it, right? Because as long as you have to think about it, it's sitting in your head, taking up extra resources, and it's occupying your main CPU, and you're not going to be thinking about other things like composition, perhaps, and like all these other things that we have to learn, such as composition, perspective. These are all modifiers. They're all stacking modifiers that go on top. And so I guess the better I guess one particular measure of an artist, I mean, if we're going to try and judge people that way, would be how many modifiers you can stack on without having to think about it. So I guess, yeah, you know what? Simple concept. I guess I've pretty much said what I want to say. Yeah, let's put an end to that.